Now to the Celtics, and they do not deserve just 60 seconds. In fact, I couldn't squeeze everything in as far as my displeasure, disgust, and just highly disappointed by their performance last night. So I'll give you a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes of this, but what can you say if you're a Celtics fan, knowing that Game 1 and even Game 4, those are games that they could have won and didn't, and I understand that's how it is. So you come back home in a Game 5 scenario, and we've seen the Celtics in Game 5s at home. Just you got to look back in the last calendar year. We saw it happen in the Atlanta series. Granted, they had a 3-1 series lead, but they stunk up the joint when they had a double-digit lead, and Trae Young went off, and they had to go to Atlanta to win a Game 6. Last year, the crazy ending with the free throw, the putback there by Milwaukee in Game 5, and then Jason Tatum's heroics in Game 6 was what was needed in order for the Celtics to win in this same round, the conference semifinal, to beat the Bucks. And now here they are in a scenario where they're going to go into a hostile environment. The Sixers have not beaten the Celtics in the postseason in forever. You have to go back to 1982. So you know that fan base is going to be rabid. But again, and I'm going to get to the good before the Celtic fan gets ready to jump off a ledge. But last night, it was just wall-to-wall disgust, coaching, Marcus Smart, he's got to get his head out of his rear end. I don't know what's happened to him. I wish Joe Mazzulla could be a little bit the coach of the Celtics. Could maybe look at a guy like Malcolm Brogdon, and I understand that even maybe Brogdon wasn't going to save him last night. But it's not to say you're going to bench Smart. It's not to say you're going to put Brogdon into the starting rotation by far. But you got to take the tempo of the game. Marcus Smart has not had a good series, and that's number one. And I understand it's going to be all carried by Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and they did not have great games, as we saw. I know Tatum had a lot of points, but didn't shoot well. But now it's a matter of them having some tenacity, having some fight, having some heart, because the talent is there. And they're going to need that come tomorrow night because, again, that building's going to be raucous. That crowd is going to be wanting to get a sense for blood. And if, obviously, they get off to a slow start tomorrow night, they're going to be doomed. So now here's the good. Celtics are rebounding in the Game 6, as we've seen, as I just talked about a second ago. And remember who the coach is on the other side, as the Celtic fans know well. Now, granted, he didn't have a lot of meltdowns with the Celtics, but ever since he left, days with the Clippers, and even if you want to say to a certain extent being in Philly, having that lead against the Atlanta Hawks there, well, really it was 3-3 when the whole Ben Simmons fiasco. So he hasn't been great in these spots. Granted, more 3-1 than 3-2, but we can see Doc Rivers panic, or we could see or get a sense that the team may not deliver when it comes to wanting to get that fourth game of a series, as his track record, especially after Boston, shows. So there is that to hang your hat on. But as I close this out, there's still another 36 hours to chew on this, and the Celtics better rebound and have a big game. If they lose and they fight tooth and nail, you got to live with it. But they must come back with a fury and a vengeance tomorrow night in Philly.